Hey everybody, Thomas Joseph here today with a pepper primer for you. Now, black pepper is one of the most popular spices used around the world, especially in Europe and the United States. And today I thought I would share with you some different varieties of peppercorns and some really close relatives. I'm going to start with the green peppercorns here because these are really most true, I would say, to the original form of the peppercorns. Now, green peppercorns here, you can find these in your supermarket. Sometimes they're dried like this, sometimes they're found in a briny solution. But green peppercorns are the fruit from a tropical vine, and what happens to these guys here is they're treated with sulfur dioxide, and the sulfur dioxide, what that does is it preserves the color. So that's what this greenish color is. Sulfur dioxide is used on a lot of things like dried fruits. So if you think about apricots, if they're not treated with sulfur dioxide, they tend to be really brown, but if they are, they're really a vibrant orangey color, more similar to their natural state. So these are treated with sulfur dioxide and then they are dehydrated, and they kind of resemble most closely what the original berry looks like. Now, green peppercorns, unlike black peppercorns, have a bit of a grassy taste to them. They're not as strong and spice forward, but they're really less commonly used, I would say, in the United States. Moving on from green peppercorns, we have the black peppercorns. Now, black peppercorns are mature berries from this pepper plant, right? But are not fully ripened. What happens then is that they are dried, and there's a specific browning enzyme that exists in the peppercorn on the outer edge of the peppercorn, and that's what turns these over time, over the drying stage, turns these into a nice dark black color. Now, inside of this kind of fleshy, papery outer casing, which is kind of the fruit layer, is a seed, and that seed is actually white pepper. So these are all from the same plant, basically, but they're just treated in different ways, or they're different versions of one item. Now, black pepper has that really rich, dark, spicy flavor that we know and love, and white peppercorns are actually a little bit milder. Some people say they taste a little ashy and not as pungent and spicy, but they're commonly used in a lot of French cuisine, and they're used in sauces that are lighter in color. So you don't get any little black specks from the black pepper, and you use this white pepper instead. Now, in contrast to these three true peppers, we have two other varieties here that are sold in the marketplace. Now, pink peppercorns are from a completely different tree. They're actually from a Brazilian pepper tree. They're really a vibrant color, and they're kind of citrusy, piney in flavor, and they're much more delicate. So they're not as hard and tough when you bite into them. They're actually lighter, more crisp, I would say. And again, they have those citrusy notes, so they really pair well with delicate things like fish and chicken or any other seafood. Now, next to this pink peppercorn here from the Brazilian pepper plant, we have the Szechuan Peppercorns, which is actually part of the citrus family, the tree that it comes from. And these really interesting peppercorns have a numbing quality to them. So when you eat them in a dish, if you go to a Szechuan restaurant and you get dishes that are made with these Szechuan peppercorns, you might start to feel a tingling in your mouth because that is the quality that exists within these peppercorns. Now, Szechuan peppercorns are actually one of the ingredients in Chinese five spice. You might have a spice container in your cabinet that has that, so you might find a similar flavor in Chinese five spice if you can't find the Szechuan peppercorns, but you're really interested in trying it out. Now, last but not least, I have a combination of peppercorns, which is common in supermarkets or in those giant pepper mills that you have, and this is a mixture of the green peppercorns, the black peppercorns, pink peppercorns, and the white peppercorns. Now, some more general facts for you. Peppercorns originated in Asia, in India to be exact, and moved over westward. It was one of the first spices that was actually traded. Now, today, the largest producers of peppercorns in general are India still, Indonesia, and Brazil. So the peppercorn has kind of migrated around the world. Now, when you buy these peppercorns at the supermarket or at your specialty market, it really is best to store them in this whole form here and grind them as you need them. Ground spices tend to lose their pungency over time, so keeping them in a whole form is really better. Now, if you're a real pepper fan, a fanatic, one of the things you can try doing is actually toasting your peppercorns before grinding them, which will give an even more intense flavor. So another thing, guys, to keep in mind when you do bring peppercorns home from the supermarket, keep them in a cool, dark place. You don't want to store your pepper near the stove. Oftentimes we have one of those pepper mills that we like to keep out near our stovetop when we're cooking, but make sure you kind of push it away from the heat source, because what that does is it helps to age the spice, and you really don't want to do that. So cool, dark place. And there you go, guys. I hope I've given you enough information to encourage you to go out, try some different peppercorns or some cousins of the peppercorns that you may have not tried before. Enjoy, guys. And as always, guys, click like and subscribe.